I don't want your fucking cookies. Okay, so this is not a tier list. Okay, here we are. Every Mortal Kombat movies / animated movies tier list maker ranking. This should be a quick one. I'm gonna do it. Has a new movie out? Or is it out? I don't know. I fucking pirated it. I wasn't gonna watch it. Then I was like, okay. Let me have a look. And yeah, it's another Legends movie. It exists. It doesn't really bother me as much as the previous two, honestly. And I guess we'll get to that. But yeah, I wasn't going to watch it. I got a link and I was like, okay, you know, I'm working on something. I'll have it on in the background. See what the fuss is all about. We'll get to that, but yeah, imagine rank it, and I've got the tiers for you. I've got flawed but enjoyable. That is the top tier. That is as high as we're going with this. Okay, everything below doesn't deserve a second tier. It has a blank space to separate the ones that I actually like to an extent. Boring. It has a decent amount of qualities, but I still don't like it. Mainly because it's boring. There's a lot of bad stuff anyway. This is going to apply to mainly one movie. Shit, terrible movie. But it's still above the worst. The worst, real bad. Like some of the worst media I've seen anything, right? Like that's how low we get with this. So if you didn't know, I don't like Mortal Kombat movies. You're doing our TV shows here. We'll do them too. Why not? Let's fucking do it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of any of these really. But let's talk about it, right? I guess what was the order here? Oh, it's doing live action first. I think we'll move that over. Actually, we'll put it here. Cover the live action movies first, I guess. It has all the shows. I'm impressed by its tier list. It actually has everything. That is a first. I think that's everything. Yeah, even as the journey fucking begins. Well done, whoever made this. Who made this? Axel Hunter 321. Thank you for making this. You have a weird username, but sure. The 95 movie. Mid. It is mid. It is so overrated. I'm sorry, I'm not a 90s kid. It's shit. It's shit, but there's worse that actually go in the shit tier. Okay? There's stuff I like in it, but not much. I like the fight scene because it's got that actual martial arts choreography. It's not really concerned about being all ultra violent. It's more concerned with getting like accurate martial arts stuff, and that's a lot more charming and a lot more engaging. Fight scenes aren't really long in this, so the cast of characters is boring because it's just MK1. Katana's around, sure, she's fine, I guess. The main villain, Shang Tsung, of course, he's overrated in this movie. He is a good villain, but he is not Shang Tsung. Okay, he is very different to how Shang Tsung in the games was portrayed. And it's quite hard to put my finger on exactly why he read that. And design is the first thing. Like, he's wearing like a jacket and shit. It's not a Shang Tsung design. Designs in this movie aren't good, and it's a very dark movie. Visually, not that interesting. I guess it's something that people might appreciate with age. I don't. I think the one thing that's really cool is like the Goro puppet, which has not aged well, but I think that's just a very cool. That's just a very cool thing. It's a very clever creation, and I think that's a very charming thing to look at. Goro's very funny in this movie. He has a good scene where he's like disgusted by Kano. I like that scene. For Goro, not for Kano. I could not stand Kano in this movie. And it's a take on Kano that's influenced his character since, I want to say MK9. You can make an argument for MK, this is DC. It influenced him in Deadly Alliance, but even in the 3D era, it was still like their own take on Kano. Actually, no. What am I on about? No, okay. Let's talk about Kano. Because this take on Kano is not Australian. And I get that muddled up because people keep saying it is. It's very clearly British Kano. I'm a British person. I can immediately identify as like a Cockney accent. It is clearly Kano. Kano being British, I mean. Of course it's fucking Kano. It's not Australian at all. And the games is carried over as early as Dead Alliance. Because in the 3D era, Kano is British. Like they literally say it in like his Dead Alliance Conquest. You fail some of them, some of the missions, and like there's a text box where Kano's saying like, "Oh, sorry, didn't like my British slang distract you?" It's something like that. I remember. I remember finding out about it in my Conquest playthrough. There's a playlist for that. You can probably find like a transcription of all the text boxes on MK Wiki. But yeah, he is British. He is British during the 3D era. Of course, if you don't know, Kano's a character started off being American, Japanese, I think. Then he became English from the movie, and that carried over to the rest of the Midway games after that. And then it was either MK9 or MK DC. I believe they had the same voice actor, so I guess the intention was the same. Although it is just an American voice actor. So I don't know what they were going for. But definitely by MK9, it's established he's Australian. Even though they were well aware that the take on Kano in the movie was British, they then thought, oh, it's Australian now. It's very weird. And I see a lot of people making up this misconception that people, like people behind the movie thought he was Australian. I don't believe that, because the games carrying over that personality knew it was British. So I don't know. It feels like the change might have been because of fan misconception. That might have been it. But I feel like the team knew, at the time at least. That's a whole other tangent. But yeah, it's a pretty obnoxious take on Kano. And some people find him funny. I don't. He's disgusting. I guess that's the point. But it's not in a likable sense, or in a sense that I like to hate him. He's just unlikable, and I want him off my screen. In wrestling, we call that go away heat, right? Like I don't want to see you on my screen. Get off it. He's just obnoxious. He's fucking sexist pig. That kind of starts here because, like, you know, the yellow baby line, fucking gross, right? Just a weird character. He dies. Good. Not much to say about him there. He is a overrated take on a character that has completely killed this pretty much nothing character. Right, and like for characters been past 5 games, right? Finally taking a break, which is good because I think Kano is a pretty perfect character for a cameo. We're talking about that system. Because the main reason he's around still is just because of MK1 nostalgia. He is not relevant or even popular enough to justify being a mainstay character. I'm glad he got a break. I'm glad Sonic did too. Please be Johnny next. Oh, I was saying that I do like him in the new game. But we're going on a side tangent. But Johnny, he's fine in the movie. Again, the character is kind of overrated, but he's fine in the movie. He's funny at times. And that's more than I can say for a lot of Johnny takes. So sure, the ninjas just exist. And they're just working for Shang Tsung because of reasons. Both of them. And how they're beaten is very goofy, you know. Johnny's sent to hell by Scorpion, and then there's no explanation for how Johnny even escapes hell. They just kind of cut away after their fight, and he's just still on the island. So I guess it was still a part of the island. Who knows? Who fucking knows? It's weird. Again, this is kind of like the start of the takes on the movie where there's just fights happening all over this island, which is a cool set, but it's not a tournament. It's really not. There's no cohesion. Scoring Revenge shares the same issue. It's just weird. It starts off with a very good tournament setting. You've got like all these random jobbers. Goro's beating the fuck out of people, which I mean I don't really like. I guess to introduce Goro, but ideally you want Goro to show up when there's someone to face the champion, right? He should only be fighting for the championship. right? That's what I think, at least. However, Liu Kang didn't even get to fight him. You know, you got the $500 sunglasses bit, which still fucking plagues the games today. Even though they've never actually had beef in the games, but you know, Johnny announced the voice. He hates Goro when you select him and stuff. Although it's kind of funny in that, because he says stuff like he whispers Shiva's caller. That's kind of funny. But can we move past this non-existent story? This non-existent feud? It is kind of lost appeal. Even though it is funny in MK12. Just stop it. Just stop it. Because it's normally unfunny. This movie just had a lot of obnoxious stuff. This is a really negative impact on the franchise, I feel. It's influenced characters in pretty terrible ways. You know, Kano, Johnny. It started a bunch of, like, dumbass lore that I don't care for. It just really didn't leave a good impact on the franchise. In my opinion. I know people like to take some characters here. I don't. And I think if we were going for something more original, we would have got better portrayals of characters. You know, just like at Shang Tsung and MK12, they're shifting away from the character of Shang, and it's the first time he has felt like an actual character since Armageddon. I guess MK vs DC, but it's MK vs DC. There's not much to rave about there. But you know, like MK9, he just existed. MK11, he is just a nostalgia callback. MK12, actual character. Cool. I think it's just done more harm than good. And I will dock points from the movie for that. You know, I think that's important, because at the end of the day, this is a video game franchise. If your movies aren't aiding with that game series, then that's a problem. If it's doing nothing, it's just on the side, there's not really any points to give or take there. But if you're actively impacting the franchise in a way that I don't think is good, because it caused a bunch of retcons for MK4, none of them were good, if you ask me. And it's just caused a constant influence for characters with generic personalities like Kano. There's just really not much I can say that's positive. It's just there's so much stuff that's worse. And there are bits I like, just not many. I know I'm in a minority there. I don't really care, though. I really don't. You know, this might go into shit. I don't know. I don't know why I'm going to distinguish between shit and the worst, actually. So maybe it goes down, but we'll start in the middle. Annihilation. Better movie than 95. I think this is the best MK movie. I wouldn't call it good. I wouldn't. But it's enjoyable. I think it has the most good bits in an MK movie. And I think when it's bad, it's usually for like dated technical stuff. That makes it really funny. So its flaws are more charming than anything to me. Most of them. There's some bad stuff like Jay's a generic villain. Some odd dialogue at parts. It's a messy movie, but I like it. You know, I don't have any strong negative feelings towards it. It's the one movie that has impacted the franchise in a way that I think has been good. This is the movie that kind of gave Jax a personality that's stuck with him ever since. And Jax is, I'd say, and I don't even think this is a hot take, I think many would agree with the notion that a character who's basically a mainstay has only missed a couple games now. Of course, MK1 being the most recent one, and then there's Deception, and even then he's in Unchained. So, yeah. Annihilation Jax is the start of his personality, essentially, and it's a good one. And he's a character who's always stayed fresh. So I think this movie has had a great impact on Jax. Right? I really do. He's very enjoyable in this one. And it makes Sonya a lot more likeable. I think they play off each other well. Whereas in the 95 movie, I don't care about Sonya. She exists. She really does exist in that movie. This movie actually makes the Liu Kang Shao Kahn be kind of interesting. It has some weird lore, like Shao Kahn and Raiden are brothers, and Shinnok's their dad. However, this is one of the few cases okay, where it's a bad idea, but they do it well. Um, and what I mean by that is it's interesting. They make it relevant, they make it interesting, and they don't shove it in your face. It's not an idea I'd take to the games, and it didn't go to the games. It only went to MK vs DC. I don't know why, but it did. But that doesn't really matter, does it? It hasn't really had a lasting impact on the franchise. And for this movie, it's kind of interesting. It's weird. I don't really like it, but they did it well, and I can't really deny that. So yeah, Shao Kahn's great here. The acting is solid in these movies, both of them. The Raiden actor is fantastic. I can't remember the name. Raiden does not look like Raiden at all, although he doesn't in the 95 movie either. But he does just look like a dude in this one, which is funny. But he's really well characterized in this movie. This is one of the best Raidens in terms of characterization and stuff. And you get like a big kaiju fight at the end between Shao Kahn and Liu Kang because animalities, which are like the main thing with like this movie having dated special effects, because the CGI looks bad, but it's funny. It's really funny. Yeah, I just don't have much negatives to say that aren't funny, and then there's some genuinely good stuff within it. I think this movie gets a really bad rep, and it's just not fair. It's really not fair. This movie does not deserve the hate it gets, especially compared to a lot of other movies we get. I think this is the best one. Oh boy. 2021 movie. This isn't even the worst tier. This is shit, I think. Oh, another thing that started Annihilation, I just remember this, is Sindel, like how she died, the whole suicide thing. That starts from this movie, and that's become a thing for the games. That's another thing, because I think that's actual interesting lore, so I think that's another positive impact. Also, Sindel's got a cool design. She has a cape. I love capes, it's very cool. But yeah, on the 2021 movie, it's bad, but I see people like, oh my god, the Legend movies are so much better than this. They're not. This beats the Legend movie. This is the best movie we've had in the modern times, I think. That doesn't mean it's good. I think the main flaw is it doesn't feel like a Mortal Kombat movie. It doesn't feel like Mortal Kombat at all. I think most movies don't really feel like Mortal Kombat. But like, this one especially, there's just nothing to really take. They are names. The main character is an OC, and not an interesting one at that. Just kind of thrusted in, because they don't think they could rely on original characters. The whole premise is just weird. You've got like it's the set of the tournament. The tournament doesn't happen in this movie. Are they just going to do a sequel of the tournament? I don't know. Most of the villains die. Kung Lao fucking dies as well. There's not enough time to flesh out anyone, really. There's just nothing really good to say. There really isn't. I guess when it gets to like a level of egregiously bad, there's like other stuff. I don't think. I don't know. I really don't have much to say. It's just bad for Ant. I don't think that's a hot take, and I don't think I need to elaborate why. You know, like Cole Young's bad. The Bihan is villainized, and that's influenced the games. With the new take on Bihan, is it in like the games is it even worse than Bihan in this movie? Just boring. Shang Tsung is really generic. They cut so many scenes to actually flesh out certain characters. Kano's the best part of this movie. And this is something I hope influences Kano in the future. I think actually things are looking up for Kano, I think. He got a major role in Snowblind. I don't think he's good in Snowblind, but that helps him, I think. But also, and mainly, is his personality in this movie. Firstly, he's finally portrayed by an Australian man for the first time ever. And that means like the actual Australian jokes, they land so much better when it's an actual Australian doing it. right? And just a human general's better. He's not being a sexist, gross weirdo. He's just fun. He's the best part of the movie. He's nothing great. And also he's on the hero side, and that's kind of interesting. Then Cabal shows up and just convinces him to betray him with money. And they don't even explain why Cabal's like the leader of the Black Dragon instead. It's weird. They do waste Kano and that, and Sonya kills Kano. Stuff just happens. Ray coexists. You probably wouldn't tell because it's Nathan Jones, who's like this big fucking dude. Looks nothing like Reiko. Is given like a bland design that just has like brown and green colors, just dark colors. All the designs look terrible. It looks awful. It looks bland. It looks dull. Nothing feels like MK. They fuck with so much lore, like the Arcana shit with the tattoo things. It's so goofy. It's just really not great. It's just stuff I think it gets worse. I think this one was bad, but I don't really care. It's what I think it's just like on another level. I don't know. I really don't. Like, fuck it, go in there. Do I understand why Legacy is such a low tier? Everything I said about the 2021 movie, apply it to this show. Okay? Let's just go with that. You know what? What is the... I don't even know. I thought season 2 was scrapped. I have not seen all the episodes. I don't need to see all the episodes to know how bad it is, okay? It's just so low quality, so low budget. None of the characters feel like themselves. Bunch of dumb lore that doesn't even matter because no one saw this show. They have cool CGI robots, that's where all the budget went to. And they have a cool fight scene. That's about it. There is one episode, like, see, where Raiden's just a guy and he's like sent to like a psych ward or whatever, a mental hospital. Because he keeps saying how he's like the god of thunder or whatever, and they're like, what the fuck you on about, dude? And that episode is like one of many depictions of like mental institutions are like for crazy people, and how like the fucking people behind it are like trying to experiment on you and all scary stuff, which is a problem because people with actual mental health problems, they need the help of facilities like that. And if media is portraying it as such, that doesn't help. I think that's really fucking bad. I think that episode might be the worst piece of MK media ever. Okay, no. I saw the Brazilian MK4 comics. Jarek just drops the hard N-word on Jax in those comics. I think that's worse. This is fucking up there with the comics Jarek, though. Yeah. I think that's the first season. I mean, I feel like I gotta put the second one at the bottom too. Like was there a quality increase in season 2? I don't think so. Again, I didn't even know the season 2 actually happened. I thought it got cancelled after season 1. Whatever. Conquest, a very sexist show that, which is very annoying because the show's pretty damn good in like everything but how they treat women. And of course, them being sexist, you lose a lot of fucking points. This is a very openly sexist and misogynistic show. And it's just very uncomfortable. And it just weighs down so many things. It's a massive shame. It really is. Because I think there's a lot of good in Conquest. And I wouldn't even put it in boring. It's above the 95 movie, undeniably. I think Conquest has like, of all these extended media, I think the best things come from Conquest. I think Quan Chi's a fantastic villain in that show. I think Shao Kahn, like his best voice is in that show. His portrayal is very good, even though his design is still cool, but nothing like Shao Kahn. There's a lot of cool characters. You've got the greatest Mortal Kombat character. You've got fucking Zero, who's not good. The first episode in, and like he's like trying to get like a make Tazza his slave or some shit. I don't even remember. I honestly don't remember. But he says some pretty fucked up things. Weird guy. The first episode is probably the worst one. It's not a good introduction point because, like, you have, like, Jen Raylan's dad, Baron Raylan. And if your name's Baron and you're an asshole, and, like, he has, like fucking sex slaves, I think. He makes women work for him, though. I can't remember the specifics. I don't really want to, but this is one example. Quan Chi is because of his ears. The demon ladies, there's Mika, Sion, and Sora, and there's, like, Celine is the name of the fourth one, who shows up for the last episode and fucking dies like everyone else. They basically replacing those three here in Taka. Which, sure, I don't know why you wouldn't just have those three. But sure, because it came out at the same time, I think. Yeah, of course it came out at the same time. If that's Quan Chi, then the other three would be on time. But they don't use them, which, that's fine. And, like the other four are okay. I think Mika's the one that has the most going on for it. But, again, they just kind of sexualize them. And they highlight that they're slaves more than just being Quan Chi servants. And it just makes for a creepy dynamic. Not in a good way. I can't think of Quan Chi, like, trying to, like, get with him, except Mika. There's one scene, I think. But usually it's just Quan Chi yelling at them all. Which, that's very Quan Chi. So, yeah. The actor for Quan Chi, it's a Donnie something. A very funny guy. He's a very nice man. He has a YouTube channel. He's a cool dude. But yeah, it's got a lot of fun bits to it, this show. And because it's, like, all the way from the past, it's like Great Kung Lao times, which is an interesting premise, by the way. I don't care for the Kung Lao times, the Great Kung Lao times at all. I think he's a pretty unimportant character. He's not as important as people think. He's a guy who Goro beat. That's all you really need to know. He beat Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung came back with this four-armed fucking Machamp unit, and, like, Machamp beats his ass and kills him. That's all you really need to know. But yeah, it's done decently, and having a show like this to show off those times, I think that's good. And I think we got plenty of the Great Kung Lao times from this show. We don't need to see him again. We've limited that idea so that people care about it. They've got their content. And you still get a bunch of characters still around time. They have the stretch for a few characters, like Scorpion's here because he's an actual, like, hell scorpion, and he possesses the Shiryu clan founder, who's called Takeda, which is actually ties to Mythology's lore. So they knew their lore, right? Like the time and stuff going on. It all makes sense. It's just stuff in the show is really fucking weird. The Lin Kuei's another weird one, where you have, like, a Sub-Zero who's, like, constipated whenever he uses cryomancy. He's really uncool. But, they never mention his name, so you can just kind of stretch it as it's a ancestor. But, like that's quite a long fucking lineage of Sub-Zeros. You only really have the grandfather Sub-Zero, but I suppose you can reach. You can make the stretcher. There's Sub-Zeros from that long ago, sure. The Scorpion one is fucking wild, though. Yeah, the show's just weird. But then it's good at times. It really just depends on how sexist they're feeling per episode. It really just depends on the scene. Depends on what the characters are there. Because it is so hit or miss. It really is. There's a lot of funny stuff. It's fucking funny, and then it's gross, and then it's like, oh, that's an actual good bit. Then they have a fucking fight scene, and it's the best fight choreography Yankee's ever had. I'm like, what the hell's going on? This movie is an acid trip. No, it's not even a movie, it's a fucking TV show, 22 episodes. And, like, my friend Emmy was like, yeah, this show's actually kind of good. I'm like, yeah, sure. I go watch it. I haven't even seen all the episodes, I don't think. I've seen clips in general, and then, like, she sent me like pirated episodes, and I was like, okay. I'm like, I get the appeal here. I'm liking a decent chunk of it. Overall, it's still bad because it's incredibly sexist, amongst just other dumb little lore bits. But there's really cool stuff. Shang Tsung, I don't really think he's that great. The actor's not really good for him at all. In the story, he's just in the cobalt mines. He does fuck all. But there's like really good lore for him. I don't care for him in the show itself, but the lore he gets is really interesting. He has like a master. He has like an ex-girlfriend or whatever. Like it goes back to like Shang Tsung's like old life, like before he sides with Shao Kahn. They have a scene of like Shao Kahn like making like the soul pact with Shang Tsung, which Armageddon uses essentially a variant of it, because Armageddon, you know, Shang Tsung's killed in Deception's intro, and then he comes back to Shao Kahn because Shao has his soul bounded to him, and they need to do that ritual so that Shao can then teach him his soul magic. They highlight the fact that Shao Kahn knew soul magic and he teaches Shang Tsung. In modern times, it is simply a matter of, oh, Shang Tsung, oh, he's a soul man. They don't really address Shao Kahn, do it. Even MK9. MK9 has Shao Kahn just easily take all of Shang Tsung's souls. Just casually. And that's how he's dead. And they don't really address that. They don't really mention, oh, he's got this crazy soul magic. And I think it's just interesting. The final episode, I mean, it's a bad ending because Shao Kahn has the Shadow Priest kill everyone. And it was meant to be a dream. And season 2 would reveal that. Season 2 didn't happen. So essentially, this means what is clearly meant to be like a dream sequence is essentially the true ending. And it's just a bunch of Shadow Priests murder everyone. The end. Which is a shame. I think if they had just gone a bit different with some of the things, and of course the ending, you could pass this off as canon. I really think you could. There are just changes you need to make to like half the cast, which sounds like a lot, but a lot of it is just don't be sexist, rule of thumb. And like certain characters like Raiden's kind of a douche, and like he goes to like a brothel in like one of the episodes and just gets drunk. Like that's not Raiden. That really ain't. And I guess that ties to don't be sexist. Because they even got like Raiden hitting on women in this show. It's like, well, okay. It's just very weird. And it is on a very bad level that I probably can't put it here. We'll probably keep it here. But boring is not the right word for it. Do not get me wrong. I would not call this show boring. It is either batshit insane in a good way or batshit insane in a ooh, what the fuck way. Fucking crazy show. Really is. Rebirth. Oh my god. I'm not sure if this counts as official or not. It's fan made, but like it's solid Legacy, and it's worse than Legacy, I'd say. Reptile eats humans. I thought he ate babies when I first watched it. He has like a fridge and he gets like a plastic bag out, and I was like, oh my god, there's gonna be a baby in there. So basically, the premise of Rebirth is it is Mortal Kombat, but without magic. So characters like Baraka and like Reptile, they're just crazy lunatics. Baraka's like a doctor who like gives himself like these mutations, and Reptile's just a baby eater, sure. Weird fucking show. Probably the worst premise you could possibly have. Taking the magic out of Mortal Kombat means it's very much not Mortal Kombat. Your premise is make it lamer. Don't do that. Just don't. The journey begins. It's going up. It's fucking going up. Top tier, mate. Journey begins fucking good. It's not. It's not. It's not. It is enjoyable. Okay? And basically what I said for Annihilation kind of applies here. Where there's good takes on characters and stuff. But there's a lot of flaws. Just of the age of it. And especially in this one. But none of it's like incredibly like bad. It's just bad in a funny way. It's not like offensively bad. The characters are done well enough. there's some weird stuff. Like they cover like the history of some stuff, and for some reason, for like flashback sequences. Most of the movie, by the way, it's Raiden on the boat, the Nevership to Shang's Island, and he's telling, Liu Kang, Johnny and Sonya about all these stories. And a lot of it ties into like Goro and stuff. The Goro law is fucking goofy. It introduces Dorak though, so props to that. And there's also like one about like Shang Tsung, King like some Shaolin masters, and that's how he corrupts the Mortal Kombat tournament. That's some very old lore, and lore that I don't think makes sense. It does not make sense that the tournament was just a regular like friendly competition and then it became corrupted. The tournament's existence should come from the Elder Gods as a way to like, I don't know. It's the one where you can claim rounds without the Elder Gods intervening. That's just the rule. And that law on its own is dumb, because why would the Elder Gods allow that in general? My explanation in like my stories and stuff is simply the Elder Gods are a neutral force. They will give you the option to do it, but they don't want you to do it. So they're going to make it a very hard fucking time to do so. But they don't restrict what people can or cannot do, essentially. They will help the side, the hero side, in ways that they can, but they're not going to hinder just evil, because they're bad. They are a neutral force, which, that's as good as I can do. The Elder Gods are fucking stupid. They are stupid unless you say that they're being neutral. If you're saying they're trying to do good, just completely good, then no, it does not work. That as a concept does not work. That's just a problem with MK in general, not like this movie or anything in particular. But yeah, when the non-fascists, they've got this poor budget animation, but it is so funny. They have a fight scene in like this cave area with some Tarkans. They introduce like the iron stuff, and they meet Shang Tsung. Has a cool voice. I like that. Raiden's cool in the movie as well, talking about stuff, and he's like, "Oh, well, now the tournament started, I can't help you." He just dips, and then a bunch of Tarkans try attacking the heroes. Very funny fight scene. Probably the funniest fight scene in MK. It's weird because the ending, nothing really happens. And but I mean that is it's meant to tie into the '95 movie weirdly, where it's meant to like be the journey to. It is the journey begins. It does not show like all the stuff on the island. You introduce you to a bunch of lore and stuff. You're journeying to the island. You get to the island, and then kind of ends abruptly. For I remember, it's been a while. I can't remember what happens after Tarkhan and stuff. I just know nothing really happens. Nothing really happens. No real events take place in this, and that helps make it harmless. Right? It's just a very fucking funny, outdated movie. It feels like one of those like Christian, like those like crappy Christian movies or whatever. It's bad. Okay, it is bad, but I enjoy it. Okay, so it goes up there because I don't really have any negatives to say other than the animation is so bad. But that helps. If it was just like some great animated thing, I wouldn't give a toss. Because nothing happens in it. Because the animation is so fucking terrible, I love it. It's so funny. 10 out of 10. Amazing. And also putting it in top tier is just going to piss people off. I find that very funny. Oh, Defense of the Realm. Okay. Because I didn't say the tour shows I actually like Defense of the Realm, and I'm going to put it up here. As far as a separation thing, I think this line which separates Conquest almost makes it into that middle point, but I really can't downplay how sexist the show is. That really does weigh it down a significant amount for obvious reasons. Defense of the Realm, little kids cartoon, again, harmless. Much better quality than Journey Begins. It goes above Journey Begins for sure. Each episode kind of like a new villain. It's like, your Saturday morning cartoon as a different villain of the week. It's fun, there's only like, I don't know, 12 episodes. I've seen them all, I think. And I don't really care for most of them. But you get a lot of new characters. The art style is very good as well. I think the animation stage very well. There's a lot of like good voice actors as well. I don't think I don't know if it's the voice direction or what, but there's a lot of like well credited actors and stuff. You know, you have Mr. Krabs Raiden and stuff. It's fucking funny. But yeah, I don't think the voice acting is too good in this. I mean, it depends on character to character. I think Kabal's a good voice, from what I remember. Shang Tsung's is alright. Shao Kahn's good. I don't know. Asgarth has the best fucking voice. Katana's a good one as well. Asgarth alone puts us in this tier. Asgarth shows up on the last episode. He pulls up and he's just a fucking goat. He's this like eagle man thing from Edenia. He has like this cool blue cloak hood on. He pulls it down and he's got, hello Katana. I have this very nice soft-spoken British voice. I'm like, holy shit, who is this man? Asgarth is like fucking awesome. Really cool character. And he's only in one episode. He is in one episode. He helps the heroes out and stuff. The episode itself is quite boring. It's just Shiva tricks them into falling into like Shao Kahn's trap. And then like the other heroes save him. And that's kind of the end. Like Shang Tsung like betrays Shao Kahn's whole thing. And like that sets for an interesting season 2. And Asgarth sticks with the heroes at the end. So I'm really upset that we didn't get a season 2. Because I think Asgarth would have become a like just with the main heroes. He wasn't going to be a one-off character, it seemed. Especially since they introduced him in the finale. He has all this time with like Jared and like Edenia stuff. He was like a knight to Jared, if I recall correctly. Just really cool character. They introduced him really well. They established his connections. Just a great character. And it's a shame we didn't get more out of him. If he had been established from the first episode, like, boy, this show would be fantastic. If you just had Asgarth in every episode, it could be complete dog shit. But if you have Asgarth, because Asgarth is so good, then he would carry every episode. He carries the finale for sure. But other characters are still good. There's like good bits of certain characters. Some are just not good. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero's voice is terrible, for one. Doesn't do much. The episode with Cabal's very cool. Some Cabal like talk about some stuff. It sounds like a nice message of like don't judge people by how they look or whatever. You know, just very nice. Also, Hero Cabal, you love to see it. Yeah, it does a lot of good things. It's just a lot of it mid. I wouldn't even call a lot of it bad. I think it's just mediocre. It's kind of average for this show, and there's just some weird stuff, but nothing like terrible, nothing egregiously bad. It is a kid show at the end of the day. They're not going to do anything like fucking ridiculously bad or edgy like the Legends movies. It is just fun. It is just a chill time. It is worth a watch to just see all their unique concepts like characters and stuff. It's just a very interesting watch. So it's definitely flawed but enjoyable. I think that's just very well. I could put it above Annihilation. I don't know if I would, but it's definitely a case for it. It's above Journey Begins, for sure. Journey Begins is there because I find it funny. There's nothing that I think is like, oh my god, that's like genuinely incredibly good. Here you have Asgarth and like a few other things I think of it. Mainly Asgarth. mainly Asgarth. I spent like half the time talking about this show, just talking about Asgarth. There are other new characters, but most are like one-offs. I mean, Asgarth is one too, but it's Asgarth. He's cool. It's just good stuff. And it's another thing that kind of ties to the 95. Quan Chi debuted in this show, which is kind of funny. He didn't debut in this show. He's found like MK4 and whatnot, but this show just came first. The show didn't invent Quan Chi when he came to the games. He was meant to already be in the games. But he's like a one-off villain, so at this point in time, he would just feel like any other one of these random villains they introduce. So it's quite an interesting origin for him. Also, that Quan Chi screen face. That's the start of Quan Chi meme faces. Every entry has some. He, just recently has the point meme. Quan Chi is just, what a goated character. Seriously. Legends movies. Oh boy. This is some of the worst me I've seen in any MK. Scorpion's Revenge. Okay, I don't know if they're all going in the worst. I mean, this one's above these at least. Would it go above 2020? It would go above 2021. It's the top of shit. It's the top of the steam pile of shit pile. Yeah, Scorpion's Revenge. There are bits I like in it. There are bits I've applied to my own story, mainly the only torture guy. And like Quan Chi's like shape-shifting scheme thing is unnecessary, but kind of interesting. I probably wouldn't use it today, but I remember it came out around when I saw my fanfic. And if you're like a new fanfic writer, you're just trying to pull stuff from any media instead of doing your own thing. Don't do that, please. Especially when most of the stuff isn't that great, but yeah, it's alright. The opening is probably the best scene in any Legends thing, It's like Scorpion talking to his son about like the Scorpion, like what it represents and stuff, and that's how he gets his name. I think that's a very cool origin for it. Of course, it could just be a status title of the show. I think that's more interesting. It having like a deep connection, like some deep meaning, and like something he shared with his son. I like that. I don't like the massacre scene. Scorpion shouldn't even be there for it. Don't show a child getting murdered. It's just general rule of thumb. Don't do that. They love overdoing the extra stuff. The animation is just really crap quality. It looks like a budget anime. I'm going to mention it now. The animation in all these looks trash. It is so low quality. This is probably why they churn one out every year. They're cheap, easy to make, and you're not really losing any money, even though no one really cares for these. People get about Scorpion's Revenge. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. But after that, they're very obscure. Snowblind and Cage Match especially. Like, I know most diehard fans who didn't even know Cage Match actually existed. They're just not mentioned enough. They're not really mentioned on any official MK stuff. It's weird. But yeah, Scorpion's Revenge is only the best of the four. But it's still bad, Like, Quan Chi has no motives in this timeline. She knows how it is returned to a key that Shang Tsung has for some reason. They don't explain it. Shang Tsung's like a crazy Shao Kahn loyalist, it seems. It does a 95 movie issue where it starts off as like an actual tournament setting, that's cool. Then it breaks off into all these weird areas. One of it is actually the Kuantan jungle, which isn't on Shang Tsung. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, if you couldn't tell, this movie just takes X's design. That's probably how old these movies are. Why didn't we use MK11's design? MK11 had been out for a year at that point. Like, they are very behind. They are very behind on this stuff. So, yeah, there's not like any cool new designs and stuff. It's just not good. And the idea of trying to mix like Scorpion's Revenge story with Mortal Kombat 1, like the tournament story, doesn't work. Scorpion interfere with Goro and Liu Kang's fight. Goro is going to kill Liu Kang. He was going to win. And then Scorpion intervenes, kills Goro, which is dumb. And then he's not punished. Like, that's a disqualification. The only rule we really had for the tournament was you can't interfere in the matches. And Scorpion just does it in the final match, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Shang Tsung and Liu Kang don't get to fight. Liu Kang's just a jabroni in this. And then Scorpion burns the island down or whatever. But the island collapses, I think. Then it's also, like, burnt down or whatever. I can't remember. I don't care. Bad movie. We're fucking speedrunning these. Battle of the Realms. Boop. Pretty bad. Pretty fucking bad. Definitely in the worst tier. This is a whole tier below. This is the only legendary that actually follows up on anything. This is MK2, but it's also MK3 because the actual end of Shao Kahn has like some invasion stuff. It's also mythology because there's the whole Temple of Elements stuff. It's also MK4 because Shinnok's back. it's also kind of deception because Shinnok wants the fucking Kamidogu to make the one realm and become the one being. Yeah. You will only have 120 minutes to do that, I think. Actually, no, you don't. You have like 80. You have an hour, 20 minutes, not 120. I think I get that mixed up. So you only have 80 minutes. Not enough time to essentially do like 5 retellings in one. It's bad. People like it because, oh yeah, Liu Kang's the main hero again. But they fix the problem of their own doing. Liu Kang's terrible in this, by the way. They give him a Batman backstory that doesn't even matter for anything. He's the literal chosen one. Like the Elder Gods actually choose him to be the champion or whatever. So all his feats are unearned. Like Raiden in the last movie literally explains that, oh, your destiny wasn't to beat Goro, it was to beat Shao Kahn. Like what? Like Shao Kahn's a bigger deal than Goro. I'll tell you that much. Goro has not felt like a big deal at all. And he doesn't in that movie because he gets killed by fucking Scorpion. So that movie didn't actually help Goro look like a strong character again. Because he beats up a bunch of jobbers, he rips Jax's arms off. And then he goes to do the same to Liu Kang. But then Scorpion comes on, and that's it. He doesn't speak or anything. He's just some dumb meathead. Yeah, this movie's bad. It has Raiden like give up his godhood again, which is a stupid idea. If Liu Kang's the chosen one, why do you need to participate in the tournament? Raiden just kills himself for no reason. Reiko beats the fuck out of him, he beats Reiko. Then Shao Kahn just beats the fuck out of him because Shao Kahn can just enter tournament matches, I guess. I mean, makes sense. He beats up everyone, even Katana. Katana just like suddenly betrays him. Katana does not get enough time to actually make me care about her at all. And like while this tournament stuff is happening, and by the way, the fight scenes are like 10 seconds per fight. Liu Kang beats Jade in like 3 frames. D'Vorah and Johnny's match ends with just like D'Vorah punching Johnny, which Sonny does this to him like twice in the previous movie. D'Vorah does it to him here. In cage match, Serena crushes his balls. We'll get to that. Like Jeremy Irons has like a fucking fetish for this thing, no doubt. It wasn't funny the first time, and then they did it 4 more times. Fucking brilliant. Just bad. It's just bad. This is completely nonsensical throughout and not in a fun way. There's just no redeeming qualities to this one. There's not a single good thing. There's no cool new charactering. The best thing is like the Elder Gods dragon designs, so like fluffy little dragons. They're kind of like wyverns in that way. I like that. That's about it. Yeah, and while the tournament stuff is happening, if I'd have mentioned this, there's another Scorpion subplot. Shinnok's back, which complete retcon from the previous movie, where like Quan Chi needed the key to free Shinnok. Shinnok's just out and about without an explanation. And no one even addresses this. They just act like the last movie didn't happen. You wonder why? Because they don't give a fuck. And yeah, he like forces Scorpion like do stuff for him, and then he's got like he hide the cyber Lin Kuei for some reason. Just fucking goofy shit. Qui-Yang wants to kill Scorpion, rightfully so. He just cares about Bi-Han now. And then they just quickly make a truce because you don't have enough time to actually flesh this out, and then they team up, and then like it goes back to Shinnok Gang to Kamidogu because the cyborgs beat up Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which kind of cool that they get to do that. And then Nero's like, oh, wait a minute, you're Shinnok, the mad god. And he's like, yeah, you dumb fucking motherfucker. And then he has like generic demons kill the cyborgs who were beating up Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Then Scorpion and Sub-Zero kill the demons. Very power scaling. Then because he has the Kamidogu, why Shinnok wants the Kamidogu, I don't know. Because Shinnok should be fully aware that merging the realms brings about the one being, and he doesn't want the one being because he knows the threat of it. Shinnok's amulet was made to fight against the one being. Shinnok does not like the one being. The unique thing about Shinnok to Shao Kahn was his like war on the realms. He was not merging them. He was just going to take them over. He was not trying to merge any of them because he knows about the one being. And they just ignored that. And they just made him like some insane old man, like some creepy pervert guy. Lame. So lame. And actually becomes the one being, which is just giant corrupted Shinnok. He'll been waiting so long for the one being to finally get something, and this is it? Corrupted Shinnok, which wasn't even called for Shinnok? Are you serious? Then Liu Kang turns to a fucking dragon and eats him in the one realm. Like what? And then he like separates the realms. The realms are planets now. Hell is a planet. That makes no fucking sense. He just splits them up again. But and he doesn't split up any of the realms inside Outworld except for Edenia. The end. And that's just like touching on some of the issues. I was going to write a full critique on this movie. Then I realized how many issues there are with it. It is atrocious. It is one of the worst pieces of me I've ever seen. I, for a time, thought it was the worst I'd seen. Snowblind happened. I've done a whole review on that. People literally tried harassing me over it. I'm not going into it, so fuck off. It is the worst slasher movie, in my opinion. And I'm going to say Rebirth and Legacy is still worse, but I don't know at this point. They're all bad. Next is Cage Match, and I wasn't going to watch because I don't care about it, and the fact I don't care about it, I still didn't after watching it. I might be more positive than I probably should be, if that makes sense. And this isn't getting a good tier, but it's just still like here, maybe here, and might be able to give it a shit tier. Might be generous. I don't think I personally do not think this is the worst Sandler movie. I had friends who think that. I personally think Battlegrounds and like Snowblind are like a tier below. And I said that, then yeah, this should be in the shit tier. That makes sense. Just like, but oh my god, I don't know about the parents in the first place. And my main worry was, Johnny's just going to be obnoxious. That's why I was avoiding it, because I was like, I don't want obnoxious Johnny. Johnny in Legends, Scorpion's Revenge, and Battlegrounds, he is so obnoxious. He is one of the least likable characters I've ever known. So I was like, okay, no one even cares about this movie. No one's even bringing it up. I can avoid it. Then I got a link to watch it. And like I said, saw it in the background while I was working on something. And it didn't annoy me. It didn't like fucking make my blood boil like the previous two movies did. And for that, I can't put it at that level. It's just because I wasn't focused on it. Maybe it's just because I don't care anymore. They've destroyed me so much that I don't care. But it didn't bother me that much. And that doesn't make it good. It really doesn't. It's still really bad, but it is so fucking stupid. And a lot of it isn't in like an offensively bad way. It still is, in the grand scheme of things. We'll get to it. But basically, the whole premise is Johnny has a god descendant shit. His green energy stuff, right? Which he doesn't even have in the new game, which is funny how like a month later this comes out and contradicts with that. And I don't even know what the time frame for this movie releasing is, because Asher has like her purple magic, which she only has in MK12. So this feels like a more recent one, but it also doesn't at the same time. It's weird. I don't know when this one was made. The first two were clearly like before MK existed. I don't know how big the backlog is, but this one feels like it was made more recently. Snowblind 2, possibly. Snowblind was leaked like in 2020, I think. No, 2021. It was leaked right after Battlegrounds came out. We have the next version movie already leaked, which I don't think there's any confirmation for it yet, but it sounds about right. I can't believe it. The premise is like the fall of Edenia, which is probably their best premise yet. It's not going to be good though. But Cage Match, I might mini review, because I'm not going to do a dedicated video to it, because people are just going to try fucking harassing me for having an opinion, which is fucking stupid. Yeah, this was bad, and like I said, like Johnny has like energy stuff, god powers, whatever. It's used to like open a portal inexplicably for like Shinnok to enter Earth. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what that's to do with his powers. I don't know how that connects to anything, but okay. And then Johnny like gets his glow power at the end to be able to beat Shinnok. Which, you know, you're just making Shinnok a joke now, okay? He sucks in battle rounds, he sucks here. Why are you not the main villain in 2 of these movies? Like, what? Why? Why? Who's asking for this? I love Shinnok, but why? I don't get it. And yeah, it's Johnny Focus because for some reason we love the Johnny Shinnok rivalry, I guess. Shinnok's not even the main thing here. He shows up at the very end. The main villain is Serena, who's Jennifer Grey in disguise. Okay, no, it's Jennifer Grey who's Serena in disguise. Jennifer Grey, who knows, is like a real life actress, which is weird. Why make it a character like that? Okay, so the premise is because they want Shinnok, because they want to use Johnny as a gateway for Shinnok to enter Earth. They have been a part of like his whole life, like everyone he's known pretty much have all been demons since he was growing up, right? Cause you get bullied by him and shit. And then like when he enters the acting industry, you know, like the director's a demon. His agent, I think, who just says fuck a lot, like really unfunny character. He's a demon. Jennifer's a demon. Everyone is a demon. Everyone in his life is just a demon. Even characters just like kind of mentioned, they just then go, yeah, they're a demon too. Like what? It is so fucking funny. The idea that these demons just came to Earth, they just took up human disguises, and they just went fuck you to Johnny in particular. Like that's some reverse Flash shit. That is so funny. And there's no reason for it. You could just sacrifice him as a child. What are we waiting for? Why were you just tormenting him for like 10 years? It makes no sense. But it makes it funny that way. So I'm like, okay, I can look past that, I guess. But then the demon stuff just gets weird because they establish it's like a cult loyal to Shinnok. And they're into some fucking freaky shit, you know, BDSM. Serena sexually assaults Johnny at one point, ties him to her bed and like crushes his balls because, again, someone has a kink for that. I don't know why. Serena's just evil for the sake of it, even though her whole thing was, I'm only helping so I can hopefully find a way to escape the Neverrealm because I don't want to search Shinnok, but I kind of have to. And she just wants to get out of there. I'm pretty confident the majority of demons just want to get out of the Neverrealm. And here, they've been allowed to leave the Neverrealm, and they've been given successful lives. Serena's a successful actress. You know, they're just living peacefully and shit, being successful, doing their thing. And they're all, like, together, you know. So, why do you want Shinnok? They're just blindly loyal to him, even though they already have a good life. There's no reason to be loyal to him. Serena especially, like okay, Key and Jataka technically don't have any characterization, really. So you can just say they're evil. That's really boring. And they're just generic, like, villainesses, right? Like Jataka's just a seductress. It's weird. They do nothing with the characters, even though Kia's on the cover. Jataka isn't because she's black, I assume. Knowing this film. Knowing these movies. I don't know. I just don't know. Serena's not on the cover, and she's not even in the credits, because they want it to be a secret for some reason. I'm like, why? Who gives a fuck? I love Serena, but I don't give a toss if she's here or not. I was hoping that she'd be safe from this movie. But no, she's like the ultimate villain. She's the new Quan Chi. Quan Chi's not around at all, even though they have the Brotherhood logo plastered everywhere. Which, if you didn't know, the Brotherhood of Shadow logo has Quan Chi's bold-ass head on it. Where's Quan Chi? It just doesn't make sense. And there's no reason why the demons were even sent there. Other than to bring Shinnok here, but who has the power to bring them there? Because if it's Shinnok, then why doesn't Shinnok just bring himself there? And like, to be fair, MK4 lore, Shinnok couldn't escape. Right, like this is always the thing. Shinnok was trapped in Neverwhere. I feel like that idea has become outdated the more common that interrealm portals have become a thing in the MK universe. So the fact you can just transport like all the demons but not himself there doesn't make sense. And again, if you send them to Earth that's probably what most of them want. I don't think they're blind loyal to you, and even if they are, once they get out of there and they're like, wow, this is such a much better life, there's no reason to help Shinnok out, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. Raiden's there for like a minute and a half or whatever. He does nothing. Ashra's like serving him or whatever. Ashra's his new chosen one or whatever, which that's kind of badass, but I don't care. Ashra's fine in this movie. She really is. I don't really have any complaints about her, really, just that she's put in a very shit story role. And also Serena's her sister. I don't like that. And that's literally just because I have them as a couple in my fanfic, and now you've got two pieces of me in MK this year that I just think, oh, they're sisters now. Like fuck you. Stop trying to make what I write look like incest, please. So that's more of a personal issue. Although in general, I don't think that idea really does anything. It's not like necessarily bad, it's just pointless. And Astra kills Serena. She has like a big old demon form. Mark and Robin show up, but they're just a cameo. They're not killed though. Which is how you're meant to do cameos, you know. Like MK always makes the mistake of having a cameo that shows up, and the cameo doesn't even fit in this scenario. Like Dyra and Snowblind, why is he helping Kano? He just shows up for the final fight and then dies. Like why bother putting him in? Monarch and Charmin coming like because they send all these other demons there, which why couldn't you do that in the first place? I don't know. Again, there's just so many holes in this. And I could look past it. It was just fun nonsense. But, like, they made it fucking freaky and edgy, of course, as they normally do. And Shinnok's, like, against those creepy guy who calls, like, all the demons his children or whatever. Just, like he acts like a nonce. I really don't trust this Shinnok around kids. I really wouldn't. He's just a fucking weird, creepy old man. And then Johnny beats him with like the help of like a crowd who like throw rocks at him. There's like this guy like a Superman shirt and like he throws rocks at him. And I really want to highlight that. And I feel like they meant to have like some really wholesome message about standing up to bullies and being a hero or whatever. I think that's the message they were going for, but it doesn't work. It really doesn't. It's just strange. And I think that's the message they're going for, because they keep bringing it up how Johnny hates bullies, yada, yada, yada. And I like that for the character, though. Johnny's not annoying in this movie, which is the most surprising bit. He's not my problem with it. The cult stuff is my problem. It's just the cult. Like all the Netherrealm stuff, it makes no sense. I even the stuff I like about that. I think Bully / director, we all memed about him. We all memed about this guy who was credited and how he'd be he'll have like a cameo role. That's gonna be like, and like he had the meme about Bully / director hype. It turns out he's a recurring character with a lot of speaking lines, more speaking lines than like most of the actual MK characters in like previous movies and stuff. There's no benefit that this movie has going for it is it's got a very small cast. So means you can characterize these people more. It still feels rushed as all hell somehow, but yeah. So Blaze Shredder there's like multiple scenes, and I don't really like him in any of them until like he takes on like his big demon form, but he's still talking like really sophisticated, and like he's trying to convince Chuck. Actually, I haven't even mentioned Chuck yet, but he's trying to convince him to give like this scroll thing, which I don't know what the fucking scroll thing does. I can't remember. I don't care. And like if he does, then the director will give him like a part in like a movie or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, which is funny because it's like, oh, he's still being a director even though they're starting the invasion. So they just want to live their lives, right? Like why do you want Shinnok to try fucking with your life if that's what you like? Like the dude seems to have a passion for being a director. Like let my man cook. Let my man cook on the next Ninja Mine. Come on. Like that's just funny. That's really funny. He's not even that good of a character. He really ain't. He has like 3 scenes from what I can think of. But the fact that he is recurring is just really fucking funny to me. I find that so funny for a character we were memeing about. So me personally, I think that's just incredible. Like that is so fucking funny. um, like you can make a character out of that, and I love the idea of like the demons and like they're actually like kind of fucking chill. He's weird in like other scenes, like he tortures Chuck and Asher in one scene. Like yeah, this guy's a major deal to me. He's more prominent than Kieran Jataka, I think. It's weird. It's really odd. It's just a weird movie. That's the best way to describe it. It doesn't even offend me personally. I just find it weird. um, but yeah, Chuck. We'll get to Chuck. He's like a full-on character. Has a name, of course, Chuck, and he's like Johnny Cage's assistant, and like he's one of the three main characters. Just this new dude who can't even fight, and like it's a very interesting new character. He's the one new character of like the many ones from Legends that has a name and he feels like an actual new character because he's very important. He's one of the main side characters. Like Asher and Chuck are probably focused on more than Johnny himself. It's weird, and he gets like a whole arc and shit, and where he like stands up for himself because he's like, oh, what would Johnny Cage do? Which is corny as fuck, but I kind of like it. Like he's a solid character, and then he becomes mocap, which is an idea I like on paper, because I think that's a neat callback. But just have mocap then. This is where the character falls apart, because it makes you realise this could have just been mocap on the big screen. And not big screen, because these movies are so shit they're not in theatres. But I feel like you could have made some kind of mocap. And he might even count as mocap. If mocap comes to like the games in some way, I could see him just being Chuck, because this guy's more character than actual mocap. I can't lie and say that. So I don't know if this is meant to be a mocap replacement. I don't think anything's going to really come from it. But it's interesting. And again, I like Chuck. I just think that you could have just had a guy, give him a new name, whatever. I think you might as well just call him Carlos. Because, you know, mocap's based on Carlos Pacina, the main motion capture guy for Midway. And he still works for NRS. He basically mentors like the current mocap people. He like directs them and stuff, which is really cool. You know, he's done a ton for the series. So I think you want to keep honouring that. I don't know why you changed the likeness of him. Unless you want to do like a Spider-Man thing where anyone can be mocap. I don't think that's what they're doing. See, I'm the only person who's thinking deep about this because I like mocap. I unironically think he's interesting and you can actually use him. Of course, it's mainly just he's a joke, but he's a charming one. And you can just put him in a story as Johnny's friend. Why is he in this? He's Johnny's friend, you know? And he's like this nervous guy and like he can't really fight and stuff and he stands up for himself. You can basically give that role to mocap. Like actual mocap. Again, I don't know if this is meant to be mocap. He becomes mocap, sure. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, again, sure it's been, you know, Carlos Pacino. You don't have to actually voice him, considering he's actually like the third most important character, which is weird. That's weird to say that. Mocap, but it's not even mocap from the games, is the third most important character in this movie. It's weird. But he's good. I'm just pissed off that it's not actually mocap. If that makes any sense. Because I think that'd be a lot more charming. But yeah, because mocap and motion capture for like the Mortal Kombat games series, which that would be funny, but also we all know it's digitized actors. But they show like images of the arcade games. You should have shown an image of the 3D games. Yeah, shut up. I'm so sorry to see Scorpion. This is the first thing with no Scorpions and Special Forces. That deserves a pat on the back. You relied on a unique, distinct cast that felt chosen for this specific thing. And it doesn't work. But you get points for it, I guess. It's weird. It's still bad, but I have positives to say. And I talk a lot about it, but I just feel because I haven't talked about this before on the channel, and I kind of just watched it. I watched it like last night, and I was like, okay, it's bad. It's definitely bad, but I don't know. There's stuff I like about it, and that's more than I thought there'd be. So personally, this is like number 2 of the Legend movie. So bad, but I kind of like it. No, actually, no. I like very specific things. I like the funny director bully guy. Chuck's decently written. Johnny's character is alright. Same for Ashra. I don't really care about him in this setting though. But like, it's not really bad. It's the only thing I think is like really bad is the cult stuff, and that's a bit dreadful. You know, Serena's just a generic villain. So is King Jataka. But Serena, especially because we know she's a hero and she wants to live in Earthrealm, she's gotten that. So what's her motive? And of course, Shinnok's bad because every time Shinnok's the main villain, he's written like shit. It is absurd. His only good appearances are mythologies, where it focuses more so on Quan Chi. Shinnok gets like 2 scenes, and then Armageddon, but Shinnok's fucking cool, but he's not the main villain. It's weird. It is. MK14, that's alright, but there's not very much there. Most of the lore from comes from mythologies, you know. So like, it's not bad, but a lot of the good stuff comes from that game, from the spin-off. I digress. This is one of the movies of all time. I'm just impressed that Johnny wasn't obnoxious, and there's characters I like in it. But yeah, no, it's so bad. It's so rushed, poorly paced, poorly animated, and like it just gets fucked up edgy at points. So it's shit, but I won't blame the worst. I will give it that much. If you think it's the worst, I will not argue against that. Absolutely fucking not. You know, I will not defend any of these movies whatsoever. But yeah, this was better than I expected, I guess I can say. That doesn't make it good, though. So here's your tiers. What a stupid tier list. What a very dumb tier list. This is taking an hour and 20 minutes on me. I don't talk about movies again on this channel. I know there's probably any more Legend movies. I don't care. We are done here. I think. Because, yeah, I don't really care about them. The next video might be Onslaught, because it comes out tomorrow. And I will, if I can download it, I will. I could get the beta, and it made an update that I couldn't even update my game for. And that's when I stopped playing it. But it's a game that I kind of like. But there was just nothing in there. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just because it's the beta. But they've been releasing periodic updates. And it hasn't been adding much. And I can't see how much more the full release would add. So I don't have much hope for it. But we can do videos on it, I guess. It's someone worth checking out. So that might be my next video. I haven't actually continued my conquest thing. For my Minecraft conquest build thing, I have like a grid laid out for the Nexus. I need to do it, and I will do that off camera because it'd just be counting. And I might do a video filling it in, and I'll talk to you guys about stuff. That's the plan for the channel for future videos. But I hope you enjoyed this one. I know people like me rambling about these things. I like doing it. This is the tier list. Here we are. So, watch this video. Please stop doing MK movies. Please fucking stop it. None of them are that good. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.